Welcome on back in, everyone. As we got to start it off with a little bit of hype energy, we got a top of the table contender matchup. We got CLG Academy taking on Golden Guardians Academy. I'm joined by Magical and Cubby. And fellas, it is all too scripty that we are coming to the second to last day, and we get this absolute banger of a matchup.
It's the top seed up for grabs. The CLG, they were 14-4 in the first round robin. They were the ones that were the top dogs for so long, but in the second round robin, they haven't been putting up the same numbers. And Golden Guardians, C9, Team Liquid, they've been catching up. This is the big chance for CLG to solidify themselves in first. They're a game behind Golden Guardians. A 2-0 here would do them a lot of wonders going into Proving Grounds, as, of course, we got 2 days left of Academy.
We do. And talk about that CLG Academy roster a little bit more. Get their faces up on screen. By the way, thank you to production. I'm so happy to be able to get these players' faces on screen for the last week here. But this roster, yes, have had some recent downs, but all in all, this season has been stellar. CLG Academy going from worst to first, it seems, and having a real big resurgence, especially with the new coaching staff and everything coming into the season.
Hey, when in doubt, rely on Big Dokes, in my opinion. We saw that yesterday.
We saw the video.
Backdoor.
I mean, come on.
The video of him, the backdoors yesterday as well. It was a nutty. It's been a nutty performance from him this entire season. I just want to see Breezy start visiting top lane again.
Yeah, and I wanted to take a look because the important thing today is taking look backs for all these teams and their kind of path to this point. So let's look at the two shades of CLG Academy, right? First round robin, first. Second round robin, they have fallen a little bit.
Yeah, so the 6-8 record, it's actually a tie for fifth, so a four-way tie. There are 4 teams sitting at 6-8 in the second round robin, and for CLG, I mean, I know it's been like a little bit difficult for them. I caught up to Rosethorn, or with Rosethorn, I should say, before these games, and he said, hey, like, the last couple weeks, they haven't been easy, but I think that we're looking forward to Proving Grounds, and first seed, it means a little bit to us, but what they want is the Proving Grounds championship. That still is what they have their eyes on, and Rosethorn, he would know what it's like to really scale into Proving Grounds, being on that Golden Guardians roster last year that didn't make it in top 6 and then ended up making top 3 for Summer Proving Grounds.
Yep.
You know whose teammate was for that's on the CLG roster as well, Matt Magical? It's Prismal.
Talking about Prisma a little bit more himself. The glow up. All right, let's go ahead and bring it back a little bit though, because this guy, there's been some trials and tribulations, but all in all, it has been clean play with Breezy in this split.
I like how aggressive he's been playing, honestly. Those are my favorite games, when he actually exerts his pressure in lane, tries to go for these plays with Breezy, because then he gets his lead on his own. He can go out elsewhere, at least Breezy can, while Prismal is too strong to move in the bot lane. Those are always the times when CLG look the best.
It is, but I think it's also been a part of some of their struggles too. I think that Prismal, historically as a player, he's always said that, I'd like to go for plays, I'd like to be aggressive, and sometimes that does lead to him getting caught out. He's been getting caught out a little bit more in the second round robin, and I'm looking for Prismal to return to form, to pick those spots a little bit more carefully, because when he does, he is one of the better marksmen that we have in the league, and I really want to see Prismal step up back into that role.
He absolutely is, and on the other side of the take, can't be any slouches over there, because we got the first seed team, at least at this point, Golden Guardians Academy, coming in clutch. The huge late season push. This team, having been run through the ringer for, it seems like, the first half of the split, playing the PG qualifiers, playing Academy, playing an LCS, and here we're seeing a culmination of it.
All stems from their first initial loss in the Proving Grounds qualifiers, 3-0 to 100 Next. After that, they came to Academy with their A game. They're like, no more of this. We're playing the best League of Legends possible, and they have looked hot since then. Like, even the first round robin was pretty good, but I gotta applaud them for how well they've played this latter half.
They were 4-4 before they got 3-0'd, and I think a big part of their evolution as a team, it's been Tony Top. I think that he is someone that, he's not the carry of this roster. It's been all about Stixxay. Now we expect a lot of it to be about Violet as he's slotted in this week. And, we still got to recognize and talk about him a little bit too. But I think that Tony has really emerged into this weak side role where, he can play picks like the Gwen where he's doing really well and then able to carry, but also between Ornn and Gragas, he has 9 games on those 2 champions and has only dropped 1 of them. So I think it really speaks to not only how well Tony's able to pilot those, being left alone on the top side, but also how well Golden Guardians as a team works it into team fights, because when Tony is able to bring that champion into a team fight, he always makes good plays on the Gragas and the Ornn.
Well, for me, the big thing I got to talk about with Tony Top is the fact that he has those versatile playstyles. He can play more of the aggressive top lane, but he can also play the tanks really well. And he can he can absorb so much of the pressure from his opponents, as you talked about, where everyone tries to focus on Tony Top, like, okay, we got to put him up behind because it's tank versus carry matchup top lane, and he's okay with it. Even in the Gwen matchups, he's oftentimes able to absorb all that pressure and still not die.
I love it because we do get a chance to look back at these players, see what the development has been, see what the team development has been for all of it. But guys, all that's all good and well. It comes down to the game, it comes down to execution, it comes down to the day of, it comes down to our top of the table contender matchup. It is ready for the draft. So Magical Cubby, take us away for game number 1.
Thank you so much, Mazel. We'll see you for the halftime show, but we got to get into this game. The fight for first going into the penultimate day of Academy. CLG Academy, 1 game behind Golden Guardians Academy. You couldn't ask for a better end to Academy season.
Yeah, when that SmackDown video was made for Team Liquid versus C9, I know that Team Liquid's hot. I know that they didn't have the full rosters the first time they met, but I couldn't help but think, this really is the true top of the table SmackDown that we have in terms of our standings in Academy. I think that the way that these 2 teams have played as well, it's been really different splits for each of them. I think that CLG, that second round robin, they've had a few struggles, but I know that yesterday it was a 1-1 against FlyQuest, but I actually thought they were playing some pretty decent league. I think that they were playing out the 1-3-1s okay. And when things go south for CLG, they're always a team that's not afraid to send it. A lot of times that pays off. And that is how they got their 1 win yesterday, Mad Magical. So I want to see if we can see similar, cleaner early games from CLG. This high priority on 1-3-1s. And at least in the draft, looks like the high priority early is on the Zeri, as that is a bit of a takeaway, I should say, with the first pick. Gonna handshake it for the Jinx.
Yeah, I was about to say, with that Caitlyn ban final, I saw that. I'm like, okay, it's a trade of Zeri Jinx. That's what this is going to be. You have to pick one or the other, and for CLG's sake, they decided to go for Zeri, that late game power.
Now, we'll see if CLG feels pressured at all to maybe take something like a Yuumi. This is one of the more popular pairings that we have been seeing with the Zeri, and something that actually Golden Guardians lost to yesterday in their second game against 100 Thieves, as Wixie and Busio played that into them. But CLG, they're getting a little bit more aggressive. You can hear it from Mad Magical. Lee Sin Ari, man, that's a lot of priority on the mid-jungle duo.
The Ari we've seen a lot of priority on, but Lee Sin has been more of one of those niche picks for certain players like Hyper that you see bans towards it, or early picks and drafts for it. Hearthstone really does like a lot of these early game AD champions as well, but I'm just more surprised, especially going into Hecarim.
Do it.
Something that wants to power farm, and then the counter answer from Ryoma grabbing that Vigar into the Ari.
Okay, so Golden Guardians, what I like about this Vigar is with this and the Hecarim, you have legitimate ways to control Zeri. You're going to have to force her to take cleanse, most likely, to avoid the event horizons, avoid the one-shots. And it's not only the Zeri, but all the movement from Lee Sin and Ari. If Golden Guardians are able to get past the 15-minute mark on even footing, their comp scale so much harder than CLG, even with that Zeri on their team. The Vigar Hecarim gives you a lot of ways to control, buy space, and so I think CLG, I'm curious, they're a team that loves to throw down early. I really want to see if they're going to go full early game champs. I think you can see Golden Guardians kind of playing defense against that, as taking away that Jace that is a champ that could hurt them quite a bit with the poke in the Jinx and Vigar. I like that. Golden Guardians, they will choose to blind the support. Going to be helping Hecarim with those big engages. More control, going to be that Rakan.
A lot of engage, a lot of potential crowd control from the side of Golden Guardians. But for CLG, like you said, it's early game. Last time, yesterday, when they played against FlyQuest in the first game, they had the split push, the 1-3-1. This time, they're far more about trying to have these early skirmishes. Maybe a little bit of those mid-game team fights, but it is really the power that comes from them as long as they can snowball right out of the gates.
And that's the Renekton. When I was saying that CLG likes to throw down early, I was kind of teasing that. Now, this does play into Tony Top's wheelhouse. We did say that between the Ornn and the Gragas early game, it is 9 plays, 1 loss. His Ornn's 5-1 or 4-1. His Gragas is 4-0. Both those really good into Renekton. I think it fits the late game scaling comp that Golden Guardians are going for. It's pick the litter here for Tony. As he could return to that Gwen.
It is one of his best performing champions, but it is going to be Ornn. Goes for that. And honestly, I think the Ornn's better. While I like more fighting, more damage.
We are in 12-5.
It's 12-5. Gwen's not as good as she used to be. But we have, I mean, honestly, we've seen no priority around her, even in the bans. But the Ornn makes more sense with the composition that has been drafted for Golden Guardian. You have good engage from a Hecarim and a Rakan, but the Ornn provides non-committal engage that they can utilize, as well as a great meatball you can throw in front of everybody.
And it fits the identity of Golden Guardian's composition. This is all about neutralizing the solo lanes of CLG and just being stronger champions past the 15-20 minute mark. So I think that because of that, all eyes for us have to be on CLG. I mean, something that made this team great in the first round robin, it was 3-wave plans. Rosethorn, he was splitting maps. He was going for dives. He was taking camps, Mad Magical. He was doing everything in his power to get CLG these early game leads. And CLG, once they got an early game lead, they never let it go. With this map setup they have and this draft, Mad Magical, CLG do have the power to get prio in their lanes early, to roam and try and make plays early. And I really want to see if they can do that.
As do I. That is why I kind of teased for Breezy.
Is that what you were like writing down the entire time?
I mean, I write down what you say off.
You were stuck in your book.
Hey, look. My brain doesn't work that well anymore. This thing has got a timer on itself. He'll lose this, like, what you say within, like, 5 minutes. It's almost as bad as a goldfish.
You know what, Mad Magical? As different as we might be, we are still the same. We got our books.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Gotta have solidarity for notebooks. I got a really good surprise for next clip, and I'm gonna spoil that for everyone out there. You guys have already seen it behind the scenes, but getting into this game, talking about that, I'm looking towards CLG, Breezy especially. That's why I teased it a little bit before. Roaming top lane, especially if you're gonna have priority in your lanes. If you can get Lulu to help out Renekton immediately out of the gates, like we've seen at the very beginning of the split for CLG, that's actually a pretty good thing, because you get this Renekton off to a good lead, might even be able to get Lee Sin out of the gate.
Interesting. Breezy's roams have been really important to helping Dokla amount and surmount some of the gold leads that Dokla has been able to obtain. Once again, I feel like I say this every single time I am on a CLG game. Dokla, average gold differential at 14. It is 983. That is first out of all players in Academy, and that is more than any other team's average goal differential at 15 in the league as well. That is how dominant the Dokla has been in this lane. And his Renekton as well, I mean, this is his most played. It is 5-2. He has been so successful, more so than any other Academy top laner playing this. Breezy has played a role in that by roaming top, by assisting Dokla and playing around his ability to control these wave states. And it's something else we could look out for as CLG's trying to break Golden Guardians early.
Dokla, Rosethorn, late invade attempted, but spotted out by Ryoma and Iconic. We'll thwart that for now. A nice ward has been placed down by Chime onto Raptors to spot out any sort of shenaniganeries that are attempted by Rosethorn immediately. But honestly,
there's the shenaniganeries.
Hey,
I was waiting for it.
I mean, the true shenaniganeries are when you fight level 1, but that's just my opinion.
Well, no level 1 fights here. Instead, it's going to be both junglers. Looks like pathing top 2 bot, trying to impact this bot lane, which, to be fair, I know we've talked a lot about, scaling, especially in the side of Golden Guardians. It's very clear that the top side is very much a scaling component for them. I actually favor the CLG's bot lane over time in a isolation, like in the 2v2. That said, I think it's going to be very difficult for Prismal to deal with the Vigard, deal with the Hecarim as time goes on, and I'm interested about, CLG going to attack this bot lane, because I'm wondering if they are able to get anything, maybe able to set Violet behind. If that Jinx does fall behind, Golden Guardians will be short on damage for quite a bit.
This is why I was talking about looking towards top lane, looking towards Dokla on this Renekton, get him an early lead, and then he can leave lane as well. Try to get on top of Ryoma, or even go to bot lane himself with a good TP play on a Violet and Chime. For now, pretty standard. A lot of priority, as you had talked about before, Cubby. Each lane getting a good shove, while you're having pretty much an answer from the junglers, both full clearing.
And I mean, overall, the full clear, I'm always going to favor Hecarim in a full clear. So I'm wondering if maybe the first move for CLG is going for this bot crab, or it's actually just going to be Rosethorn. He's going to clean up the Raptors. Triple has push. They're going to get in, and Iconic does not have smite.
No, he doesn't. Rosethorn does, though. He smites, takes it away, jumps on the Iconic, pops his ghost as well.
Nicely done by CLG. We talked about Rosethorn, these 3-wave plans. Look at this. 3rd wave, mid, bot, shoved in. Go invade Iconic as a team. Oh, and now
the slow. They've already got the ghost. They got the damage for first blood out of Rosethorn. That roam from Breezy.
Magical, you were questioning the roam from Breezy. You're like, Breezy? Why are you up there? Breezy knows. There's a reason these guys are playing, and we are casting Mad Magical. He had it calculated. There's no flash on Iconic. CLG get first blood. They utilize that priority really nicely. Good stuff from them.
I will say, if you're in Iconic shoes, how weird must that be? You're like, all right, I'm going to get back into my jungle. Then suddenly coming from your own base is a level 2 Lulu?
Calculated. That's what we call that.
I just find it so bizarre. But now, without a flash on Breezy, it was an attempt by Chime to get a little bit of damage onto Breezy, but unfortunately suffered a lot more himself. You can see what both Prismal and Breezy are able to do, especially because they have that double range advantage.
And I really like playing Enchantresses into Rakan. This Lulu, if you time your ultimate correctly, you can cancel the Grand Entrance. You do have that range advantage as you properly highlighted Mad Magical. And look at Breezy actually dodging forward. He's got to be careful.
But they got a lot of damage on to Violet. Prismal's got to be careful, though. That was a heal. He's got no heal himself. It was only a cleanse. He didn't even bother to flash. Now they're looking for Breezy. The flash in from Violet with a shield on himself. Breezy will survive. But Rosethorn's nearby. He could venture to go for a play bot lane. He is spotted out by a ward, but look at how low Breezy is. That's going to be the biggest problem. It is essentially a 1v2. It's just going to be a little bit of assistance coming in from Breezy, so they do pick up the kill onto Violet.
Well done by Rosethorn, but also, I mean, props to Golden Guardian's bot lane. We did mention that if this Jinx gets behind, Golden Guardian is very low damage early on. Violet, I know that Violet goes down, but was able to set behind Prismal a little bit, and this is a new bot lane debuting this week. It was Stixay this entire time, so the fact that we do have Violet stepping up a bit, gonna hop into a replay here as we're jumping around, getting back to the bot lane. You can see Prismal, once he eats this zap, he's dead. I mean, that's too many creeps he's fighting in. He was stepping up to try and save Breezy, but just wasn't enough, was not the case, and wasn't able to make sure that CLG could come out on top instead of Golden Guardians taking the play. Rosethorn does answer in the back half, but overall, a good sign of this 2v2, who, keep in mind, playing on stage for the first time this week.
And I got to give big props over to Breezy. The fact that he was able to kite this one out so well and effectively to get a kill onto Rosethorn. While sure, you kind of want to get these kills onto Zeri. But in the replay, we actually had a kill top lane. Whereas a gank that came in from Rosethorn on Tony top, you, again, get these lanes ahead to try to get this early lane priority.
Rather nice for Dokla. You know, we got to keep that gold diff at 15 going up, Mad Magical.
Yeah,
always the key.
Yeah, it is always the key. Try to make sure that is going to happen. But at the moment, we did get a bit of an invade from Iconic. He stole a Raptor. I guess that's the trade for the blue buff that he had lost earlier, but Rosethorn is huge at the moment. 3-0 on Lee Sin. An early game jungler doing as he should.
Oh, thank you to our production. We got a replay, see what happened to Tony top as Rosethorn, after that bot lane play, able to base. Tony just trying to get the wave in, caught out. Easy kill going over to Rosethorn, who, man, I mean, I'm with you, Mad Magical. Rosethorn, I know that, you know, I caught up with him beforehand. You know, he was pretty honest. He said, oh, the last couple weeks have been a little bit tough, but he's really stepping up big in this one. They're trying to take down Ryoma if the charm connects.
Oh, no connection there, so it's dead. It's Rosethorn trying to body block the flash in. He outplayed him with an R, but now there's a lot of damage for an R of Rosethorn.
Yo, Ryoma taking it to his Oceanic brother in triple. He doesn't care if he's traded over a kill, man. He wants to take that Ari off the map.
That's a big win.
Big win. I mean, I don't know if it's a big win, but it definitely is a mental advantage.
Hey. The fact that it's Vigar, it's kind of like Jinx. You got to kill trade it. It's early on into an Ari. These are good plays out of something like Vigar and Jinx to get these plays. Even if you die 1-for-1, you still like this because it gets you to that late game. But now, Prismal trying to exert that pressure since he had hit level 6. But Iconic being nearby is going to make it a little risky, especially with how much damage Breezy took.
And Prismal is too far up. He
Yeah.
might be in trouble.
He goes over the wall. Nice dash away. He had to flash just to get there. He had cleanse available. He's still playing a little bit reckless.
So I will say this is the Iconic's only option because some of the consequences of that 1-for-1 trade mid, Rosethorn was able to get in the top side of the jungle. He actually took away the red buff and the Krugs of Iconic. So this is really all Iconic can do, try and make a play bot. And you can see Breezy just hovering Prismal so well here. It will be not even a plate going over to the Jinx. And while all this is going on, if our observers could check the Rift Herald right now.
Oh, wait, we might have to put that on
What?
pause because, they're still fighting 2v3.
Prismal.
1 kill for Prismal. 2 kills for Prismal. It could be 3. Iconic has no flash yet again. Triple kill for Prismal.
All right, I guess I don't deserve the cast to check the minimap anymore. I didn't see that coming for Prismal, as I wanted to take look at this Rift Herald just being taken free by CLG, but Prismal, he takes the bot lane for
What a
free,
huge
man.
play.
As Zeri skating all over them, left, right, and center, getting some help from the Lulu. Look at the zooms here from Prismal. As he says, Violet, welcome to NA Academy, baby. I know you were at Worlds last year, but you got to take me down.
I think the craziest thing that it was a 2v3, right? Still really good health bars on the side of Golden Guardians. And there was no level 6 for Breezy, yet Prismal still played as though he had that. And that's the thing that impressed me. Well, Prismal was level 6, but Breezy was only level 5.
It was level 5 for Violet and Chime, too.
True,
so I think pointing that out, that's big. I mean, that enables Prismal to step up, and now that's disastrous for the side of Golden Guardians. This full court press is now on for CLG as Dokwa gifted that kill on the top side. He's still Renekton, so he gets pushed against the Ornn, even if at this point the matchup's pretty close to even. Prismal now has a huge lead in the bot side with that completed Trinity Force, and Triple still has Shove with an invading jungler, so let's see how much more Rosethorn can milk out of Golden Guardians and Iconic, because it's a Rift Herald in the pockets of CLG. They can break one of these turrets and just start rotating Prismal around the map early, Mad Magical.
4-0 on Rosethorn as well. Has completed that Gore Drinker. Pop it, but I would assume to be either mid or bot, just to continue to escalate their advantages or even create an advantage for Triple in mid lane, since he did die in that gank earlier. But all in all, like you said, this is great stuff out of CLG. They have accelerated this game, and as long as they can continue this momentum, they should take this.
You can just see how confident Prismal is. As fun thing with Zeri there, just firing Qs into the brush. Don't even need vision to take down that control ward.
Yep.
Prismal knows he's got the plus 30. And that's a dragon for CLG, so they will have Soul on the board at the, hold on, live math on air, 25-minute mark if they take all the dragons. Boom.
Hey, nicely done. But,
Boom.
You know what? Flipping the script. I just talked about CLG accelerating the game momentum they have, but you talked before about Golden Guardians and playing defensively, being able to slow down the pace of this game. That's why I wanted to highlight that Vigor, but yeah, we got to hold on to
I think Iconic wants to speed up as Dokwa. CLG just took Dragon. Iconic is looking for this Renekton, but Dokwa actually able to sneak out.
Way.
He was getting some dirty farming, and now he's rotating mid. There is no way. So I think he's just waiting here to, see if Hecarim's going to check. But yeah, for Golden Guardians, I mean, this is the risk of running some of those scaling picks, is that it can be broken early. Rosethorn did a great job of doing that. Now watch.
Oh my god. They are just diving up by themselves. Here's Rosethorn, but look at the damage on Chime on the other side. He is running for the hills. There's damage. They've got a Rift Herald, so it doesn't matter if they don't have the wave.
Here comes Triple.
It is going to easily be this tower falling while Violet stands by, gets kicked into a wall, followed up, and dies to unstoppable Rosethorn.
Chime's going to fall, too, as he was trying to execute to these turrets. Triple should be able to get him.
Oh, flash for it to make sure. Okay.
We'll take those. CLG, they'll take first brick, and that's a 6K gold lead against the first-place team in Academy, Mad Magical. CLG, they want that spot back, baby.
They do not want to be second seed going into Proving Grounds, the second seed curse of Proving Grounds for Academy teams. Every team would want to fight valiantly to deny themselves that.
Is it the second seed curse, or is it just the Resolve Barrage 15 seed buff?
No, because Team Liquid. Oh, yeah, no, actually, wait, you have a good point. Because Team Liquid also were second seed, and I believe they fell to Barrage too. Yep. You're right. Good point. We don't have to worry about that this time, but I'm still going to call it the second place curse because we haven't seen any more than 2 Proving Grounds.
I'm just getting prepped for all my PG history as Prismal going to use that skate, hop on over the wall. CLG pop on out. They also picked up that bot inner turret while Mad Magical and I were participating in some shenaniganeries, because CLG, man, they've been dropping the shenaniganeries all over Golden Guardians this entire map. 7K gold lead. Going to take a replay of this bot dive yet again. Gotta respect Chime and Violet for looking for the chain CC, but Breezy intelligently just flashes out, denies the one opportunity they had to try and turn a kill, buy something back in this bot lane. You can see Ryoma, he can't move. He gets caught out by Triple. He loses that 1v1. Iconic on the other side of the map. Violet's just left for the Wolves. Triple able to pick up a kill too. CLG using this priority, rotating around the map beautifully.
I love this. This is that early game pressure, utilizing their priority in all three of these lanes to continue to escalate the game, which is what I asked.
And they're not done. It's now on to Tony, right? He's too far out.
Continue to escalate. Continue that momentum. Rampage for Prismal.
And Golden Guardians, I mean, at this point, Mad Magical, these are the top two teams we have in Academy. CLG, 6-8 in our second round robin. They are stomping this game, Mad Magical. They have just gotten everything they wanted on the map, and it's all come from what we saw them do in the first round robin. That identity, splitting maps with Rosethorn, making plays on the third wave, catching teams off guard, doing that exactly here to our top squad in Academy. And they win this game. Sure looks like they are. That's a tie in the first place spot.
And this is night and day just from yesterday as well. Because yesterday, both those games against FlyQuest, our second to last team in Academy, were neck and neck all the way to the bitter end. Dokla won out the first game with backdoors that he continued against FlyQuest, but in the second game, it was the scaling opportunity FlyQuest had. And here, they're facing that again. But this time around, they've played this early game to a T with so many advantages in so many lanes.
And you get to see Chime, like, even just trying to get control in the river. Just chunked out already by Rosethorn and Triple. As the last outer to fall is mid lane. Vigar has a nice amount of wave clear, but CLG is just way too strong. And they're going to make sure they take this second Rift Herald right on time to ensure they can take that mid outer turret.
Oh, wow. We got early bounty gold, too, onto the objectives for Golden Guardians. That's how far behind. It's almost a 10k gold deficit at just shy of 15 minutes. The point that you talked about being a strong point for team fights out of Golden Guardians.
So CLG, I know we already talked about Dokla's gold lead of 15. CLG on average as a team, 1,858. That is still first in Academy as well. Golden Guardians are also up there. I believe they're in third with their gold div at 15. But CLG, I mean, with this draft, right? This is a draft that we said, you know, you have to win early. You have Renekton, you have R, you have Lee Sin. It's about making early plays and utilizing the tools and the strength you have at that point of the game. And hey, credit to CLG. They were able to do it.
Mm-hmm. They are at this point where it seems like it's almost of no return for Golden Guardians. All the neutral objectives have been taken by CLG.
And really, what are we looking for out of Golden Guardians? Well, the only options they have is to try and pick off members in the side. So you can see Iconic Chime playing away from the objective, trying to get a pick on the top side. Maybe they can do so. And maybe they can combine some Hecarim ultimates into Vigar cages and go from there. But that's really the only hope that we're looking for is Golden Guardians. They got to try something.
Well, they're throwing everything at Dokla, and we've seen this before.
Oh my goodness.
You try to dive Dokla, it doesn't work, and Triple can show up to chase off the members of Golden Guardians with the charm connecting onto Jake's Violet. Welcome to Nene.
Reset City. Here it comes. Triple. Can he find any more? Won't be the case. Golden Guardians, I mean, that's the play they have to attempt, but now they show 3 top. CLG, they want more mid.
They get the turret, and they can look for the play onto Tony top. Look at that damage coming in from Prismal, but Iconic, he's rotated around, getting the cleanse out of Prismal to stay safe because of Vigar. But now Dokla showing up. They've got the charm connecting. They've got the damage. They've taken down Iconic and Prismal. He is unstoppable. They continue to dive. The jump over the wall. It is not over for Prismal. He's got 6 kills. He wants one more to be lucky 7, but that turret damage is starting to hurt. Everfrost will shut him down, but they still pick him up at the end.
And that's the kind of stuff we love from Prismal. You know, him going in, him picking the spots. A little bit of maybe over-aggression there, but hey, he trades out the kill. And I think at this point, CLG, they're just looking to style a little bit on Golden Guardians because this game, it's out of control. Any comeback we're looking for from Golden Guardians, it's going to be about Hecarim combining into Vigar cages. Maybe they get one-shots from there. Maybe they're able to pick off a couple members of CLG in the side lane, but if we don't see that, Mad Magical, I think we're just going to be seeing the Nexus go boom here for the side of Golden Guardians in about 5-6 minutes because CLG, man, the early game they put together, how they've been able to run with this, nothing is slowing them down. And we're going to get a second look, Mad Magical. And, I mean, at this point, it's just hitting them with the pocketbooks. It doesn't feel fair anymore.
No, that's even the non-committal engage or disengage out of Tony top. That does nothing to stop the turret from falling. Even with Iconic showing up and the baby cage landing on the Prismal, that just shows you how far behind they are.
I honestly really respect the early preemptive flash there from Ryoma. And this knocker from Tony Top, it always buys a couple extra sums. So we are still seeing a couple like okay attempts from Golden Guardians, but it's a 10k gold lead at 15, 16 minute mark, Matt Magical. This is what happens. This is honestly feeling like my solo queue games. I'm stuck in Smurf queue right now, trying to get back into it. I haven't played in 3 months, and most games go like this.
Hey, you know how to to avoid Smurf queue?
Never stop playing League?
Or just don't play again. One of the two. It's one of the two, but I like yours better. Oh.
Hey, there it is.
Yeah, okay, that's not damage. Hey, stack check. 211. 211.
We got a Vygar pick. We did tease that. Now, Golden Guardians, they're potentially looking for another. I think the triple is not the member they were hoping to see in the side lane, but at least for the side of Ryoma, that is a 1k gold injection. I think Golden Guardians needs about 7 more of those.
I mean, at the moment, he's the only one on the team that has an advantage over his counterpart on the other side. Oh, God.
Shutdowns are OP, man.
Yeah, but look at the bot lane difference. Jesus.
Yeah, it's a lot. I believe if we could see the items one more time, too, from our wonderful observers helping us out. Hey, look at that. We got Prismo with the Titanic Hydra helping him get even tankier. That's what we were going for. 2 items at the 19-minute mark. Not feeling too bad here for CLG. As, once again, we do have a play being attempted.
Another
like
pick
with Vygar.
Play. The flash from Triple will get him out of dodge, but he had to flash in order to do so.
I mean, this is good for Golden Guardians, and honestly, if we want to get really, you know, like Reddit analyst brain, maybe some alternative league thinking, one might claim, and this is a claim that I actually agree with too, CLG might have snowballed the game too fast at this point because there's nothing for them to do on the map. It has opened up a couple opportunities for Golden Guardians to hop back in. But you know what solves that problem, Mad Magical?
What?
That's the Baron. And that's spawning in 30 seconds.
Yeah, and then we also have a dragon that'll spawn momentarily too. Third one of the game. That will go for CLG. They've got things to play around still. There's opportunities for them, and with how far back Golden Guardians are pushed, even though they can like, I'm glad you highlighted that. They have a good scaling comp, regardless of how early game went and how fast things were for CLG. They do have these opportunities. The biggest problem is if they just leave up the Baron and Dragon takes for CLG without fighting at all.
We'll see if they can even get in the position to try and attempt to fight, because you can see CLG with all the strength they have. Rosethorn cleared a couple of his camps. He's just squatting here in the jungle, taking up all the real estate he can. And CLG, it should be really easy for them to set this up. Now, Doko doesn't have a TP, so that could be a situation where Golden Guardians can get a 5v4, but I think at this point, still looking pretty grim, and you can see CLG really doing their due diligence, checking all those brushes, taking all those pesky wards off the table, as they're just looking to put the finishing touches on what has been a really well-played early game from them.
If yesterday was Big Doke's day, today is Prismal's day.
Yo, what about Rosethorn, man? Rosethorn got everyone going. Come on.
You interrupted me. I was totally going to say that.
There we go.
Yeah. I was totally going to. Going back to the point. Prismal.
What about both of them? Yeah, all the above.
All of the above. But the thing is,
there we go.
We talked about the early game being Rosethorn's opportunity with Lee Sin. We're getting towards that late game point where Zeri takes over. This is why we have to focus on Prismal and how he's playing these games, because he is the critical member. They don't necessarily need to have Dokla in these fights. As long as they can keep Prismal pumping out damage, Golden Guardians are going to get torn apart.
And, I mean, it's not even Prismal pumping out damage that is, you know, slowly having Golden Guardians bleed out. Dokla just got 2 waves to crash at that bot inhibitor turret, where CLG just started the Baron, pulled off, lost nothing for that. So, once again, another map play where CLG, even though it's no action, they're still making the right plays to try and bleed Golden Guardians out, as Ryoma, he's still really fishing around for these event horizons. Not able to find one there, but that really feels like the only hope for Golden Guardians. Get Vygar picks. That's really all that can keep him in the game.
I agreed. I think Ryoma is the big person to keep our eyes on for Golden Guardians. These event horizons, if they can connect onto a critical member like Prismal, even though he has cleanse, it's good follow-up for the rest of the team. They pop the cleanse. They have really good engage tools with Chime, even with Tony Top, to lock down this Zeri.
While CLG's on a reset, we got Rosethorn locking down this dragon, keeping it for himself. That will be soul point for CLG. It is going to be a Hextech soul, as well as...
So I say while you're talking about that, because I looked at the item, And normally you'd see things like Black Cleaver for Xerries. Here is the Wit's End for a little bit more tankiness to survive against Ryoma. And that one is interesting. I like that a lot, especially because Rosethorn built the Black Cleaver being far ahead on Lee Sin to provide that armor shred for the team.
Wow, I guess it's just next double. CLG working together. I think the Black Cleaver is kind of a forgotten about item on Lee Sin. It gives him every single stat that he wants. So I think Rosethorn going for this. What is this? Season 7, Season 8, where it was the popular build? Maybe even like before that.
Are you talking about the League of Black Cleavers?
Yeah, well, I mean, those were dark times. I don't want to go back to that. That was what
that?
Like
brutalizing? What about brutalizing?
Was that like the Season 4 preseason patch where it was just all Black Cleavers?
Big pick for the side of Golden Guardians. That's what we were talking about, Cubby.
It's the only way the Golden Guardians get back in. CLG not moving around as a team. Golden Guardians, we're not showing on that mid wave. Rosethorn steps a little bit too far up, gets picked off by the side of Golden Guardians. We did say that Golden Guardians needs, a few more of those. But at least for the side of Golden Guardians, I mean, they have bought themselves more time. And this 10k gold deficit, it hasn't grown too much. Their champions still have scaling. We're still expecting this to be a CLG win, but at least GG have stalled out the game all right.
Gubby, expect the unexpected. That's the one thing I've learned in Academy. Is
that's actually, whenever I cast with you, I write that in really big letters in my notebook.
Well, I think that's more because of me than because of the games.
Yeah.
But I've learned from the games and from our players that anything will happen in these games. You can never count a team out.
I can apply it to the games.
Yeah, okay. There. You know what? I gotta concede this. You're right. You got a good point. But looking here, I'm looking at the unexpected with Golden Guardians still having a, what is that, 11,500 gold deficit at just shy of 25 minutes into the game. This is looking rough for them. They have opportunities for those pick setups with Ryoma, but they got to continue that. That one is not enough, and you can see that with their play and their position around the map. It was a barren start for the side of CLG, with finally Golden Guardians here to answer, but it was all bait. They've got the charm on Iconic, and they turn, immediately eviscerating Iconic so they can get the rest of the members of Golden Guardians. Chase him down, the kick onto Ryoma. He flashed back over the wall, but now they can chase him down easily. A lot of damage, and the kill for Ryoma, but his life is forfeit. They've got Violet, they've got Prismal. He is huge, and he can rip apart every member of Golden Guardians, even inside of their base. Doesn't matter how tanky you seem to be, Tony Top, you're still gonna die to the triple kill from Prismal.
That's a Lulu-empowered Zeri. Prismal's running rampant. You called it out, Mad Magical. He's the one we had to look out for as this game went on, because Rosethorn's early play got Prismal so far ahead, and Prismal converts it for CLG, styling on the skates a little bit as Zeri. CLG looking to wrap this one up. It's been a beautiful game from them.
Has been all along the way. Maybe a hiccup or two, but that's about it. It was clean League of Legends for CLG Academy in this first game of the penultimate series for them in Academy Split.
And really important once again for our standings. If anyone didn't catch the pre-show, maybe didn't catch the records at the top of the screen, this is now a tie for first between Golden Guardians and CLG. And as you mentioned, Matt Magical, our second to last series before we move into Proving Grounds. So this next game, really important, could play a big impact in deciding our first seed. Now, I know that Golden Guardians, they play Immortals tomorrow. CLG plays EG tomorrow. So, of course, that will still matter. But, hey, you control your own destiny here. And if CLG can 2-0 Golden Guardians, I think that could be a huge confidence boost for them, because as Rosethorn, catching up with him before the game cited, the last couple weeks for them haven't been super fun for CLG. They haven't been, that 14-4 first-round robin team just blowing teams out of the gates early. But we saw them do that there. That was the best early game I've seen from CLG since the first-round robin. There was no chance for Golden Guardians to get back into that game, despite some nice picks from Ryoma. And CLG just put together a beautiful early game, converted it into a victory. Really love seeing this from them.
What a way to turn around a slump if you can 2-0 the former first-place team. Now you're tied with them if you're CLG. But for Golden Guardians, this is their time to shine, to bounce back into the second game, deny that first place from CLG, and cement yourselves as the #1 seeded academy.
And, for CLG, the way they went about it, I know Prismal's the guy that put up the numbers in the end. I want to give a lot of credit to Rosethorn, though, because I think that Rosethorn, You know, I was kind of picking on Prismal in the pre-show, saying that he's getting caught out a couple times in the second round robin. I think that Rosethorn also has not put together as strong a jungle paths and as strong as early games with his team. That game, that was the perfect early game from CLG. I mean, they had priority in mid and bot. They made a play in the bot side jungle of Golden Guardians, got kills, got camps. Rosethorn never let up from there. Really good stuff coming out of him.
It's also nice to see him back onto these early game focused junglers. That always seems to be when Rosethorn has the most power.
He loves the Kindred. Historically, it's his most played.
Uh-oh.
On that, if we're going to see Viego later as well, it's 20-4 in his career. So yeah, Rosethorn loves those early skirmishers. He has a really good idea of how to play. And once again, you know, earlier in the season, talking with CLG when they were, you know, having all those crazy 3-wave dives and things like that, Rosethorn said, I like to play this way. Like, we play this way as a team. I really feel like I'm comfortable in this spot, and I love seeing CLG return to that because they look really good when they do it well.
They do, and we'll see if they can continue that into Game 2 or if it's going to be the bounce back from Golden Guardians. We'll toss a break. When we come back, we'll have our halftime show with our host, Mazel. Make sure you stay tuned.